Hello. Now we shall start off with our next question. Here we have a regular pentagonal lamina of 25 mm side is resting on one of its corners on HP, while the side opposite to this corner touches VP. If the lamina makes an angle of 60 degrees with HP, draw the projections of the lamina. Again, so let us look at the criteria which we are supposed to satisfy to get the solution to this problem. The first one is a shape which is a pentagonal lamina. The second one, a dimension of 25 mm side. Third, it is resting on one of its corners on HP. So it is resting on HP, more precisely resting on one of its corners on HP. And the side opposite to this corner touches VP. And finally, the lamina makes an angle of 60 degrees to HP. Now, let us start off with the solution to the problem. So we have the 6 criteria which we are supposed to satisfy. So the first step being to draw the XY line. So X, Y, VP and HP. So we have a regular pentagonal lamina of 25 mm sides. So taking a point and then drawing the 25 mm edge and drawing 2 lines at an angle of 72 degrees from these 2 points. The first point, so from here it is supposed to be 72 degrees. So I have a 70 here and 72. The same time, from this point also, (72 degrees), and from here also another 72 degrees. 72 degrees measured from here, so that makes it this point, right? So let us draw the 2 lines. After this, we will have to measure the dimension of 25 mm using the compass. I'll measure 25 mm using the compass over here. Right, so this is 25 mm, measuring it here and cutting the arc, and again from here cut an arc, again from this point, again from here I will cut the arcs. I shall locate the 5 points and join all these points with proper visible lines. We shall get our pentagon, right? So let us name all these points now. So we have a point A, B, C, D and my point E. And let us show the dimensions also. The dimension which happens to be 25 mm. After doing this, let us draw the projection lines and get the front view for the same. So my point A and E are in the same straight line. I think that's obvious. Then next we have a point B and D in the same straight line, and we have a point C, right? So in the front view, when we place it flat on the horizontal plane, the front view will be a simple straight line. So I have my point A dash bracket E dash over here. I have my point B dash bracket D dash over here, and I have my point C dash. Now looking at the question, we are satisfied the shape, dimension and resting on HP in the first position. In the second position, we shall satisfy the criteria that is resting on one of its corners on HP. In this case, it is my C dash, and the lamina makes an angle of 60 degrees to HP. So I'll take an appropriate point. I shall call that as my C dash. So from this point C dash, I shall measure 60 degrees from the XY line or from the reference line. So measuring 60 degrees from here, Now measure the distance from C dash to A dash bracket E dash. Keeping it here, cut the arc, and at the same time measure the distance from C dash to B dash bracket D dash. Right? Again keep it here and cut the arc. So we shall have a point C dash, then B dash bracket D dash, and we have our point A dash bracket E dash. So draw the projection lines from each of these points. And similarly draw the projection lines from here also. So we have all our points. My point A and A dash meet here. So this is my new A. This is my point B and B dash. My new B. My point C and C dash. This is my new C. My point D and D dash. This is my new D. And this is my point E and E dash. This is my new E. Join all these points with proper visible lines, and you shall get our second position top view. So here we have satisfied two more criteria. That is, it is resting on one of its corners on HP, the corner which happens to be my C dash, and it is making an angle of 60 degrees to the horizontal plane. And finally, in the third position, we shall satisfy one criteria, which says that the side opposite to the corner touches VP. The side opposite to the corner touches VP. So the side opposite to this corner C, which happens to be AE, happens to touch VP. So now what we will be doing in the third position is, we'll be recreating the second position top view in the third position top view in such a manner that my line AE is on the XY line. The line AE will be on the XY line. So appropriately, I shall take a point A. Now measure the distance from A to E. I think it's quite understandable that it is not changed. It is remaining at 25 mm. So keeping that over here. This happens to be my point E. Next, measure the distance from C to E. Measure the distance from C to E, which will be the same as C to A. Measure the distance from C to E and C to A, which is the same. So keeping it here at point E, cut the arc, and keeping it at point A, cut the arc. So we have our point C. Next, what we can do is measure the distance from C to D, measure the distance from C to D, and measure the distance from C to B, which will remain the same. So from C I shall draw an arc. At the same time, on the other side also I'll draw another arc. Simultaneously, I'll measure the distance from B to A and E to D, which will remain the same. So from my point A, I shall draw an arc and cut that over here. And from my point E also, I shall draw an arc. I shall cut that over here. So I have my point A, B, C, D and E. Joining all these points with proper visible lines, we shall get our third position top view. So we have a point A, B, C, D, E. So we have recreated the second position top view and the third position top view in such a manner that the edge opposite to the corner on which it rests touches VP. So now we shall draw our projection lines and get the third position front view and complete the problem. So from each of these points, draw the projection lines. So we'll start off with the point A, point B, point C, point D, and point E. And from here also we'll draw projection lines. I think it's gone a little crooked, so I'll redraw that. Okay, yeah. So locating all the points, I have my point A and A dash meeting here. This is my final A dash. B and B dash are meeting here. This is my final B dash. C and C dash is meeting here. From C dash, I will not be drawing a projection line because it's along the XY line. So this is my C dash. D and D dash happen to meet here. This is my final D dash. And E and E dash are meeting here. This is my final E dash. So join all these points with proper visible lines and we shall get our third position front view. So thus we are satisfied all the 6 criteria to this particular problem. Thank you for your time.